Hi, Scritty here, DemonDemon.com and Gambit Nash. We're having a little look at the progress of our social media tools, and we're looking in the social media marketplace at things like Hootsuite. And this is really because, as I did nearly a year ago, about 8-9 months ago perhaps, we looked at getting a third-party tool, commercial tool, to help us with some of our data analysis, the big data we get, and make some sensible choices for our clients. So I've had a little look. We've had a look at Sprout Social. I think we've got a tab here of Social Flow, Sprout Social, Hootsuite, and various others again. Falcon was another one we looked at, and whatnot. And we're looking at the prices and for analysing the data from a lot of clients to help us make the sensible choices. Now the thing is with all of these, if you are a small mum and pop business, then it's possible to get some very basic functionality, in some cases free, and in most cases it's sort of $9.99, but it is very basic functionality. It certainly doesn't do the analysis that a larger business would need or expect, or certainly an agency would need to service multiple businesses. It's not there. And the minute you scale up, the price goes, it isn't a flat line of price. You think, well, $9.99 buys you enough to almost do one business, so surely $30, 3 times as much will be enough for 1 or 2 businesses. No, get that out of your head. As soon as you need the full functionality, and particularly as soon as you say you're an agency, the price just goes through the roof. You're talking hundreds of dollars per client. In the UK, I think the cheapest was Falcon. When it would worked out each of our clients, just the cost would have been about £150 to £200, which is $225 to $300, and that would just be passing the basic costs on to the client. That would be with no markup from us as an agency. And when you have clients who would like to keep their spend at below $1,000 or £600, telling them, servicing them below that when 30% is a tool, 40%, 50% possibly is a tool, or saying to them, we need to keep our profit margins for our overheads, so we're going to plump another £300 onto your monthly bill, or $400 or whatever it might be, because we can't, we're now going to service you with this tool. It's not feasible, and it does put you in a tricky situation at that level. I mean, what do you do? Because you need to handle the big data. Yes, there's the post scheduling and the research, but there are tools to get around that. I mean, we use things like BuzzBundle. And we use the basic scheduling features of Twitter and Facebook, which work particularly well. But it's the big data analysis, and it's the decision making, and it's the campaign setups and things, which all this stuff does, that we can't really do. So what we've got now is, you guys have probably seen this before. This is a tool we set up a few months ago I should say, back sort of in the second quarter of 2015. This is the 15th or 20th update of it, and the keyword analysis is something we've seen before. It takes the we've displayed it before. It's from Google Keyword Planner. We now have category analysis, which takes data from other sources and looks at the keyword potential and the commerciality of keyword, whether it's long tail, how commercial it is. It looks at stop words and buying imperatives. It looks at the category tag potential. That's if you're setting up a new site, should you consider using these words or phrases in your new site, and the potential. Some are pretty obvious standout, and others, you probably use folding doors and French doors for these guys, whoever they are. Then you have the campaign data one for PPC, where now this is in progress, but it actually works surprisingly well. This will take everything from a PPC point of view right through to checkout, and if the client will give us their average profit percentage, we can work out their ROI right from start to finish using these tools. So most clients don't do that. They'll work out their own ROI based on their own profit percentage, which they may not want to divulge to you as a third party, but if they do, we can work it out for them, based on marketing costs. But they need to know all their other costs to be able to give you that marketing profit percentage. It is, I think the phrase is net cost minus marketing, which is something most clients don't know, but you can give them, say, excellent data. We have ranking analysis, which is now built in as well, so you can see where you are for various different phrases, whether they rank at all, whether they, you know, how well they're progressing, the average rank by month, so how much on average their rank is increasing across their whole range of keywords. We now look at Facebook, and we take the Facebook data and we can look at, you know, the 28 days of paid impressions. Well, you have a look down here on this left hand side. I hope it's showing up on YouTube. You know, your 28 days organic reach, your daily paid reach. It's all there for our clients. And this isn't all the functionality of one of these tools. It's probably now it's about 2/3 of the functionality, and there's some quite clever and quite some in-depth stuff that isn't there yet that we're going to have to put. And we're having to hand haul that. However, this is free to us, which means we are not passing those costs on to our client. And at some point in the near future, it will be the case when we've developed these tools a little bit more, that we've replaced the need for these very expensive social media planning tools. This, along with a tool we're developing in-house called SEO Coach, in combination would do just about everything any of the other tools we've seen can do, and probably more than most, to be fair. And it's also as scalable as you want. You know, ideally it's for individual businesses, but it would be whatever we decide to market SEO Coach as, this would be a free add-on for it. We would probably take it out of Excel and make it a standalone piece of software. It's in Excel at the moment because it's very easy to develop quickly in Excel. You can make changes quickly. As you guys probably know, Facebook changed their advertising API twice in 2015 and have already plans to change it again in a few months' time, which, if you've got a hard-coded solution, means probably ripping that hard-coded solution apart, or at least taking modules and things out of it and changing it in the way the modules interact, which means you have to get, you know, it would be Java or C# or something like that would be coded in. It would mean getting that guy back in and getting the coding redone and all that. Whereas in here, sort of 15 minutes in Excel, and you can have it functioning again. However, Excel isn't really the most portable devices. It's not the cheapest bit of software. It's not a piece of software everybody uses. The user interface, to be a really good user interface, it would require macros and things in the background anyway, which we do have a version that has those things, but it then becomes a sort of a hybrid beast, somewhere between a sort of desktop standard piece of Excel stuff and a coded piece of software. So I think at some point we will be turning this into a standalone app based on the calculations and what this does anyway. But it's just a useful bit of stuff, and anybody that signs up for a Gambit Nash course will be getting this and all future updates of it free of charge. We're going to be writing some documentation to go with it to make it a little bit easier for people to understand what it is. We're going to be adding Twitter functionality to it in the next sort of 12 weeks. The idea is that it becomes a fully rounded piece of software which adds value to people and lets them really manage their social media and handle the huge amounts of data. Just before I go, the last thing I'm going to show you, this is 1 month's data. It's just a scroll over here from just one of 3 tabs that Facebook will give you. So starting in column G here, this is just one download, and it goes on and on. There's not much in some of these other ones down here, but EI, what's that, 20? It's about 140 columns, but there are 3 other tabs. This is page data. There's also engagement data, and there's also post data as well. So the amount of data they give you is enormous, and the idea that anybody's going to be analysing that without using a tool is, I think Facebook know that you're going to need a tool. They'll put a tiny little graph of the last few days up there and make it really difficult for you to really get in there and compare graphs and do proper analysis. But this really helps us, and it means that the decisions we're making on our clients' behalf are based on lots of solid data history, and we can run a Pdca cycle with whatever campaigns we're doing to make sure every iteration of that campaign is set up to produce better results than the previous one. You can't always guarantee that, of course. Conditions change, as market changes, as seasonality changes, all that kind of stuff. But in general, you know, all the graphs are heading upwards for all of our clients, and that's a result of keeping on top of the data as well as being content gurus and all the rest of it. Anyway, waffling now. Squitty, DemonDemon, and Gambit Nash signing off.